SGF, NSA ministers hold emergency meeting over planned protest. FG resumes trial of over 300 suspects arrested in connection with terrorism. Nigerian troops burst criminal syndicate, apprehend 10, recover arms and munition in Taraba. And on the foreign scene, such operation continues as Ethiopia landslides that toll hits 229. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news updates. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thanks for joining us. Now, the Secretary of the Government to the Federation, George Akume, and the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, on Wednesday met with ministers over a planned nationwide protest against economic hardship by youths. The meeting was convened behind closed doors and had all the over 40 ministers in the President's cabinet in attendance. Information Minister Idris Wu, with the media after the meeting, pleaded with Nigerians to give the government more time to address the economic challenges in the country. Idris said there was no need for the planned protest and assured youths that the government has been engaging all concerned to resolve the issues in the interest of the country. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday appealed to Nigerians to shelve the planned End Bad Governance protest slated for next month. The protest against economic hardship, which is gaining traction on social media, has been scheduled to be held across all states of the Federation as well as the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, in August. The organizers of the protest have been faceless. Prices of food and basic commodities have gone through the roof in the last months as Nigerians battle one of the country's worst inflation and economic crisis, sparked by the government's twin policies of petrol subsidy removal and unification of forex windows. So on the protest, the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, has said it is not the organizer of the planned nationwide hunger protest slated for August 1. Now, the union was responding to reports making the rounds that it had pulled out of a planned national protest organized by the youths. A statement on Wednesday signed by the NLC President, Comrade Joe Ajero, further advised the federal government and the subnational governments to listen to the cries of the hungry Nigerian people and address the economic crisis. The statement further said the Nigerian Labour Congress stands in solidarity with the Nigerian people in these very trying and excruciating times. It advised that it would be counterproductive for the government to meet the widespread anger in the land with brute force. The planned protest comes at a time when a newly released report by the National Bureau of Statistics indicated a rise in prices of beans, tomatoes, Irish potatoes, gari, yam, and other food items in June of 2024. The NBS a few days ago in another report said headline inflation for June increased to 34.19%. relative to the May 2024 headline inflation rate, which was 33.95%. Now, the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Education, has announced a slash in allowances of foreign scholars who are currently stranded in Russia, Morocco, and Algeria, among others, by 12.7%. The ministry attributed the development to the economic crisis. Nigerian students studying in Russia, Morocco, Algeria, China, Hungary, and other countries with the federal government scholarship had lamented their unpaid stipends for 8 months running. The students are studying under the federal government's bilateral educational agreement scholarship. The BEA scholarship is for the purpose of education exchange between Nigeria and the partnering countries. The House of Representatives has urged the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) and distribution companies (DISCOs) to immediately revert to the old electricity tariff for Band A customers. Following the adoption of a report by the House Committee on Power, the House recommended a reversal of the recent tariff hike, citing the unaffordability of the new rate for Nigerians. The Committee on Power's chairman, Victor Nwokolo, presented the report.
The report has been fully widely circulated among members. The findings of the joint committees is that the National Electricity Regulatory Commission should reverse to the status quo as earlier contained in the motion of the House when it was considered, and that within 60 days, they should comply with the provisions of Section 116, 2D, 3B of the Statistics Act, that an independent team of experts to be contracted by joint committees to carry out forensic investigation of what should be the actual cost of electricity tariff. 3, that all electricity distribution companies should reverse to the old tariff pending the resolution of the matter by the House.
The federal government says it will resume mass trial of over 300 suspects arrested in connection with terrorism in the country, saying the decision is in pursuance of its commitment to promoting social justice. Hundreds of suspects allegedly sponsoring terrorism and perpetrating the act had been arrested by various joint security forces across different theaters of operations in the country. No fewer than 5 judges of different federal high courts are currently handling trial of the suspects under the supervision of the National Counterterrorism Center in the Office of the National Security Advisor. Disclosing the resumption of the trial to journalists in Abuja on Wednesday, the head of strategic communications in the center, Abu Michael, said before now over 800 cases, or rather case files, had been reviewed and charges had been drafted for efficient prosecution. Troops of Headquarters 6th Brigade Nigerian Army Sector 3 Operation Wellstroke, in conjunction with other security agencies, have dismantled a criminal syndicate, apprehended 10 suspects, and recovered an AK-47 rifle and 33 rounds of ammunition in multiple operations. Captain Oni Olubodunde, the Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, revealed this in a press statement in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital. He said the operations, which were conducted with precision and professionalism, took place in the early hours of 22nd July 2024 at Galeri and Kondo villages of Ardokola and Bali local government areas after a tip-off from a credible source. The swift and coordinated response of the 6th Brigade troops led to the successful arrest of 2 suspects named Ali Ibrahim, also known as Yellow, and Weti Alhaji Ibrahim. He said items recovered from the suspects include an AK-47 rifle and 3 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition. According to Captain Olubodunde, the suspects confessed to have worked with a known terrorist leader named Kadogo Fun, who operates around Bangalala and Kampani Zurak in Plateau State. Now, President Bola Tinubu has assented to Northwest and Southeast Development Commission bills into law, thereby setting the stage for the establishment of the 2 interventionist agencies to address development challenges in the Northwest and Southeast parts of the country, respectively, following years of insecurity. The Deputy President of the Senate and sponsor of the Northwest Development Commission bill, Senator Jibrin Barau, disclosed that the presidential assent to the bill during a chat with journalists in Abuja on Tuesday night. Here's more.
Expressing his happiness on the presidential assent to the bill, the Deputy President of the Senate, in a media chat with journalists, said the commission, when established, would help to drive development across the 7 states in the Northwest Zone.
This is something that, in fact, today is one of the happiest days of my life because I sponsored the bill. And it has been we've been praying that this commission should be established so as to help in developing the Northwest geopolitical zone. We are all aware of the importance of the zone to this country because it is a zone that is in the forefront in the production of food for the teeming population of this country.
The Deputy Senate President Barau has commended President Tinubu for assenting the Northwest Development Commission bill, which is now an act of the National Assembly.
It's a testimony, it's a demonstration that he's a leader to trust. He's a leader that has love of his people in his heart. What we need to do is to be patient. Rome was not built in a day. Rome was not built in a day. For someone to do this, you know that person has a leader, the president of the country, to look at the plight of his people.
Similarly, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Okezie-Kalu, has expressed what he called an extravagant gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for signing the Southeast Development Commission (SEDC) bill into law, thereby approving the creation of the Interventionist Commission. It will be recalled that the bill was sponsored by Kalu and all the lawmakers from the Southeast region in the House of Representatives. The bill sought to establish a commission that will be charged with the responsibility to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damage suffered by the region as a result of the effects of the civil war after 54 years. The commission will as well tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in the Southeast states, which include Abia, Imo, Enugu, Anambra, and Ebonyi states.
Two more stories. After many years of wearing the toga of invisibility, the overall head of the Mushin Lagos drug cartel, a 57-year-old Suleiman Jimo, popularly known as Temu, has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. He was arrested at his enclave after the initial resistance from him and his horde of hoodlums. Authorities revealed that in the last 2 years, the NDLEA had intercepted large consignments of illicit drugs worth billions of naira owned by Temu, but he has remained largely evasive, while a few encounters with him and his armed gangs in his Mushi enclave had resulted in gunfight. Some of the recent sieges of his shipments include a 14,524.8 kilograms of Ghana Loud, a strong strain of cannabis sativa smuggled into Lagos from Ghana in 2 trucks, and a J5 bus intercepted at Ojuelegba area of Lagos in the early hours of Sunday 28 January 2024. Others include 2 truckloads of the same substance weighing 8,852 kilograms intercepted at Eleko Beach, Lekki, Lagos on 4th May 2023, and 252 kilograms of loud seized from his enclave in Moshi on Wednesday 26 July 2023. In his reaction to the arrest of Temo, the Chairman Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, commended the officers and men of the Lagos State Command, Special Monitoring Task Force, and other formations tasked with the assignment of getting Temo arrested for their resilience, vigilance, and professionalism. He urged them to intensify the heat on all drug cartels wherever they are located. According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Nigeria's 18.3 million out-of-school children is the highest globally. The report said only 63% of primary school-age children regularly attend school, while 84% of children transit to junior secondary education after completing primary school. These numbers cut across all genders at both primary and secondary school levels. In this report, Trust TV's Noel Sampson examines the rationale behind these huge statistics.
Nafiu Alaji and Mohammed Abdurazak are of school age, but are instead engaged in menial jobs on the streets and the suburbs of the Federal Capital Territory. They said they're on the streets to fend for themselves as their parents cannot afford to send them to school. I don't have a means of livelihood. How do you expect me to go to school when I can't even eat? The reason why I push wheelbarrow is because I want to feed myself. I was a student before, but I had to quit the school because my parents can't afford my school fees. This is the only way that I can survive. This school administrator said government has a duty to provide free education from primary to secondary school for every Nigerian child.
We need to criminalize child labor in the country such that every age group that are meant to be in school, they are forced to be in school. Then parents that do not take those kind of children to school, we need to be able to arrest them and prosecute them. Access to school, access to education is a very important step towards addressing the issue. And the first is that if you go to so many communities, you'll see, even here in the FCT, the outskirts, you will see so many communities without schools there. It's either they don't have primary school, they don't have secondary school. As a result, the children in those communities, they don't have access to education. And the other part is that even the transportation system, some may have schools in maybe 2-3 communities. After, there is no means to convey the children from that community to the school where they are expected to continue their education.
Lack of education deprives children the opportunity to contribute to the development and growth of their communities.
All children deserve basic education. We're going on a short break, and when we come back, we have business, foreign, and sports. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's get to business. A newly released data by the National Bureau of Statistics has indicated a rise in prices of beans, tomatoes, Irish potatoes, gari, yam, and other food items in June of 2024. According to the NBS report on Selected Food Prices Watch report for June 2024 released in Abuja on Tuesday, the average price of 1 kilogram of brown beans increased by 252 naira. Increased by 252.13% from 651 naira 12 kobo recorded in June of 2023 to 2,292 naira 76 kobo in June of 2024. It said that the average price of 1 kilogram of tomatoes increased by 320.67% on a year-on-year basis from 547.28 naira recorded in June of 2023 to 2,302.26 naira in June of 2024. The report said that the average price of Irish potatoes increased by 288.50% on a year-on-year basis from 623.75 naira in June 2023 to 2,423 naira 27 kobo in June of 2024. On state profile analysis, the report showed that in June of 2024, the highest average price of 1 kilogram of brown beans was recorded at Kogi at 3,006 naira 43 kobo, while the lowest was recorded in Adamawa at 1,336 naira and 11 kobo. It also said that Abuja recorded the highest average price of 1 kilogram of tomato at 3,992 naira 61 kobo, while the lowest was recorded in Kebbi at 1,200 naira. Away from Nigeria, rescuers aided by drones were continuing a desperate search on Wednesday for possible survivors of devastating landslides in an isolated area of southern Ethiopia that have killed 229 people and affected thousands more. Humanitarian agencies were also scrambling to rush emergency relief aid to the stricken community, the deadliest such incident recorded in Ethiopia, a country highly vulnerable to climate-related disasters. Local residents have been using shovels and bare hands to dig through the vast mounds of mud to hunt for victims and survivors of the landslides in Kencho Shacha Guzdi, a hard-to-access locality in the regional state of South Ethiopia, hundreds of kilometers away from the capital Addis Ababa. So far, 148 men and 81 women are confirmed to have died in the disaster, which struck the remote and mountainous area. The Gopher Zone Communications Affairs Department, which covers the locality, said on Tuesday. Senior Solomon, head of communications for the South Ethiopia regional government, said 8 people have been pulled from the mud alive and taken to medical facilities for treatment. The number of people still missing is not known, but Senate said updated tolls might be issued later. And in sports, the German government said on Wednesday that the country will bid to host the 2040 Summer Olympics, picking a date that avoids a centennial reference to the edition held in Nazi Germany. Berlin and several other German states had previously mailed a bid for the 2036 Games, 100 years after the capital hosted the 1936 edition, which became known as the Nazi Games. Chancellor Olaf Scholz's government favors the year 2040 for the Games in Germany, 50 years after German reunification. The German government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the German Olympic Sports Federation and interested regions and cities. Interior ministers said in a statement that the anniversary year was a chance to show the country's liberal values. Germany last hosted the event in Munich in 1972, which was overshadowed by a hostage crisis and a subsequent massacre of Israeli athletes. And that's it for news updates at this time. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, please follow all our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Shamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time.